America's motorcycle industry is racing against a deadline, and almost nobody outside the dealerships is paying attention. Right now, there's a tariff quietly adding hundreds of dollars, sometimes thousands, to the price of a new motorcycle. And in just over a week, that tariff either disappears or gets locked in for good, depending on what Congress decides. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly how we got here, who's really paying for it, and what happens next for anyone thinking about buying a bike. If you appreciate me making this type of content, let me know by gently tapping that like button. Let's get into it. To understand this, you have to go back to earlier this year. In February, the Supreme Court ruled that an earlier round of tariffs on imported goods was unconstitutional, and the administration ended them that same day. Riders and dealers thought that meant relief. It didn't. Almost immediately, a replacement tariff went into effect under a different piece of trade law. This one a flat rate applied to essentially all imports, including motorcycles and motorcycle parts. And unlike the tariffs it replaced, this one came with a hard expiration date, July 24th. Unless Congress steps in and extends it, it disappears on its own, which means for the past several months, manufacturers have been making pricing decisions without knowing what the rules will even look like by the end of summer. So who's actually paying for this? Harley-Davidson gives you the clearest number. The company reported that tariffs cost it $67 million in 2025. And it's now projecting that number could climb as high as $75 to $105 million in 2026, with a significant chunk of that coming specifically from imports out of Thailand. That's not a rounding error. That's real money that has to come from somewhere, and it's showing up in sticker prices across the industry, not just at Harley. Here's where it gets interesting, because not every manufacturer is handling this the same way. Honda actually went against the grain and lowered MSRPs on 6 of its 2026 models, choosing to absorb costs rather than pass them on. Royal Enfield has said publicly it's absorbing the tariff hit as well, staying committed to the US market even though it's made expansion harder. But other brands haven't had that luxury. Yamaha pointed directly to tariffs as a factor in lower US demand, even while the company posted strong numbers elsewhere in the world. And Japan's motorcycle exports to the US actually dropped double digits in back-to-back months this summer, down over 11% in June and over 10% in July, which tells you manufacturers are already pulling back rather than eating the cost forever. Quick break. Check the description and the pinned comment below for helpful resources on this topic. Now, back to the story. With new bikes getting more expensive, riders have started doing exactly what you'd expect. They're buying used. Demand for motorcycles from 2020 through 2024 has climbed somewhere between 10 and 20% since these tariffs took hold. That's a meaningful shift in a market that usually moves slowly. Dealers who sell used inventory are suddenly busier than the ones selling new bikes, and that's squeezing prices upward on the used side too, which means even riders trying to avoid the tariff altogether aren't fully escaping its effects. And just when you think the picture couldn't get more complicated, there's a newer wrinkle most riders haven't even heard about yet. On top of the general import tariff, there's now a separate tariff specifically targeting the steel and aluminum content inside imported motorcycles, a 50% tax on those materials alone. That means even a bike that might dodge the broader tariff in some way can still get hit hard just because of what it's physically built from. Industry groups have already warned that this could push some models out of the US market entirely if manufacturers decide certain bikes simply aren't worth importing anymore. So what actually happens on July 24th? Honestly, nobody knows for certain. And that's the real story here. If Congress lets the tariff expire without extending it, prices could start easing in the second half of the year. If it gets extended or replaced with something similar, riders should expect the current pricing environment to stick around, possibly for years. Either way, the decision made in the next several days is going to shape motorcycle prices well beyond just this summer, and most buyers have no idea a deadline like this even exists. If this is the kind of quiet industry shift you don't see covered anywhere else, I made a video on almost the same pattern playing out in America's ATV industry. You can check that out by clicking right here.